Okay, and here's Samuel Hahnemann's statue in America, and it's a reference. Oh, you'd be amazed at how much is in this. We've got hookworms here. He's worried about hookworms and other worms, obviously, if he's doing a hook. Getting into the meats and into the brain. That's why he's got the hook up by the cranial vault. And he's got an infected lip here. And this is a reference to the vagina, and so sex, and there's a worm here. And so this is the problem, and he's talking about group sex, I think, and gay sex. He's worried about gas out of the armpit streaming down the body. He's worried about nipple gas. He's worried about infections sitting in this part of your clothing. This is where you look for it gathering in here, where the worms go. And in here, that's why you tailor them in. He's worried about bug eye, because bug eye would sit right there and you'd be able to see it. He's worried about the tongue. This is sucker, it's the back of the tongue. That's a place where if you go to a acupuncturist, they like to look at your tongue, and then they can tell whether you've got infections in your tongue from oral sex. So this is a lion, and he's worried about big cat inbreeding and touching small cats, but using ancient Asian medicine for turning people on by eating the gonads of the large cats, which they sell the biltong and the gonads for an aphrodisiac. Here you'll see the lips of the hoofed animal, and he's worried about your hoofed animals. Yeah, because that's your goat, that's your cow. He's worried about university and perversity and diversity, because this is a university graduation gown. He is worried about sex, and he's worried about the aliquot, putting what you've got in the vaginal aliquot of the Diego, more importantly, and the VD. And the drugs. He's worried about the I burn for you, the sexual gratification from parasites controlling the host through sexual pleasure. He's worried about Ireland to Japan, because this is the northern hemisphere, and we're talking hemisphere, and we're talking hemisphere. When you go through your training, you go to Hemis. Where is Hemis? Zanskar. Why do you go to Zanskar? Because you get out of the swarms and you go climbing, and then you can get rid of your bug eye if it's not too recent. If it's only recent. He's worried about Catholicism. This is also a tunic that the choir boys use, because they have oral sex with the boys to make them sing. He's worried about diet. He's worried about sex with animals in the mountains of Iran. He's worried about a lot of things, you can see that. But this man is a health specialist, and homeopathy references all of the natural products available for curing diseases. What you don't know about homeopathy, and like cures like treats like, if you get hit, then you cure the hit with a harder hit. He's worried about what you wouldn't know, knuckle, human robotics as well, and using twins as scientific experiments, and then putting them out in front of people under different conditions to show the differences with diseases. So this is actually huge. And you think that perhaps it's just a form of medicine and treatment planning that is involved with placebos, but Hahnemann had a lot more to say, and you can see that he had a lot more to say. Look at that. It's a fantastic statue. If you go into Asia, you'll know what that is, a stupa. So perhaps someone that trained with Hahnemann had been into Hemis. The other thing about Hemis and Zanskar is that up there at Wanla you can see the ray of light, and you can see the stars, and the hemisphere and the hemisphere and the hemisphere. One of the things about his haircut is he's concerned about that we spin through each other's ear, and we've got a gravitational field, and the whole northern hemisphere, because he's an American, is full of concern because there's a 5-kilometre height on Tibet, and that Tibet has a downward gravitational flow of air, and because it's 5k up, America gets it every day it spins through. And what he's got airflow over his ears. And one thing that you should be worried about in America is the Asian ear mass. If they have cremated, infected animals, then they go up, and guess what? 5 kilometres. They can flow right down over your head every day. So he's worried about cremation and wood smoke and deforestation as well. You can see that, and he's got a brain injury there, blunt force trauma. What he's saying here is that we have to cremate. This is a burning hook for putting pizzas in ovens. We have to cremate the people that have got bad cranial ecology from oral sex and anal sex, because anal sex gives you a weeping hole. Anal sex with women, 2 holes, the vagina and the anus. The anus open leaves a track of fecal coliforms into her vagina day in, day out. And it's impossible to get any sense out of a relationship where a man is having anal sex with a woman who has a vagina. It is really bad to have sex anally, because in effect you have, it is the open tent, isn't it? I didn't finish about Zanskar, because once you get to Zanskar, you learn that ants leave biopsy pictures, and Zanskar you'll see the signature of the dead horse, and go back to the doctrine of signatures was early understanding. The signature of the dead horse will be left where the horse dies, because the ants will take, and worms will take the horse apart, and vegetation will leave, but they don't consume everything, and there's always a bit that they don't want to eat, so they leave that there, and you'll see the horse and where it died. If you're back to front and you've got back tissue spread all over your front, you'll know that why you went to Zanskar. Now this, you have to go there to find out. He's eaten fish, see? He's a fish eater. He doesn't eat red meats. Zanskar, Z-A-N-S-K-A-R, A-R, Ra back to front. When you go there, you'll see people with their back on their front, and ants do that. Then you'll ask about the stars and the northern hemisphere, and you'll ask about the track of the planet, and you'll ask about the ray of light at Wanla and yellow golden sunlight, and you'll ask who does all this. It's ants. Ra is the planet going around the sun, and when you go into that part of your hemisphere and your universe, then you're into the wider universe, and that means you trek around the sun and annual rounds, which is also, this is a pastoral top, and it is about the annual rounds of these parasites as well. But you need to sort of get with what ants can do, And then you'll understand who the astronomers are and who's worried about where the planet is going without any wood. And when you watch the monks burn the wood and get the axe by the nose rings to gather wood and take it away, and why there is no wood up there, you'll understand that we have actually got a problem with ecology and wood burning and deforestation in the tilt of the planet. And you can talk to the ants in Zanskar about that, because they've got a viewing platform for the stars. And you have to go past Arrivederci, and then you find out, oh my God, they're eating the British. These are cannibal cats. Okay, so it goes all the way to cannibalism, and he's worried about cannibal cats as well. All right, so there we go.